Hi, my name is Bruno Silva, and my work is about membrane distillation process and high silent water desalination. This work was developed by me and my advisors, Khaled Salom from OSU and Cristiano Borges from University Federal of Rio de Janeiro. This work was motivated because we are looking for one solution to treat high saline water. When I say high saline water, I'm saying produced water, have osmosis concentrate, bring water. The most common technology used for desalination nowadays is membrane, is thermal process. But both of technology is usually used for treatment of brackish water and saline waters, for example, seawater, groundwater. So you not have a specific treatment for this high saline water with high performance and low energy requirements and low costs. Membrane distillation process is considered one emerging technology for desalination. This process involves in the same time mass and heat transfer, and it uses one hydrophobic membrane to separate salt solution to clean water. Basically, one of sides of membrane, you have a feed solution heated, and the other side, you have a clean water cooled. The vapor is transferred inside of pores because there is a vapor pressure difference between the sides of membrane pore. Membrane distillation has deep variations, where only the permeate side change. Sweep gas membrane distillation uses inert gas on permeate side, while the vacuum membrane distillation uses vacuum. Air gap membrane distillation has a small air gap separate cooling solution and membrane surface. Basically, the main advantage of process are high rejection of inorganic ions and non-volatile components, low work temperature range between 20 and 18 Celsius degree. It works with atmospheric pressure, no mechanical requirements, low concentration sensibility. It can be worked with high concentrations, low fauna and scale issues. But you have the drawbacks, and the main drawbacks of the process are low commercial membrane available. So because this is a new technology or image technology, so that's why not have a lot of membranes available on the market, and high energy costs, because if you are working with the vapor pressure, you need to energy to increase and decrease the temperatures. So it's necessary the energy. But as I explained it, that this kind of process needs a low work temperature. This costs not too much, and you can use a renewable resource to get this energy. So you can use solar energy, for example, geothermal energy, or waste energy. The main characteristics of membrane used on the membrane distillation process are high pressure leak entries. This kind of characteristics is related to the hydrophobicity of membrane, low thermal conductivity, mass transfer resistance, and high thermal stability. So on this table, you can see the commercial characteristics as thickness and porosity and average pore size. So different polymers can be used to manufacture these membranes, and these membranes can have different geometries, such as flat sheet, tubular, or hollow fibers. These are the equations that are involved on membrane distillation process. For the mass transfer, we have the permeate flux, where it's calculated by the product between the membrane constant that consider membrane characteristics and vapor pressure difference. The vapor pressure difference is calculated by Antoine equation, but this equation needs one correction because it can be only used for pure solutions. The correction is made considering the salt molar fraction and the water activity. For heat transfer between the feed bulk and the membrane surface, we have the convection. Inside of membrane pores, you have conduction, and between the permeate bulk and membrane surface, we have convection. Some experiments were made using the bench system, and the permeate flux was calculated using the one graduate cylinder, and water quality was acquired using the electric potentiometer. These are the test conditions applied on membrane distillation system, and the water quality were evaluated using these equations, where the sigma means the electric conductivity on the permeate and fixed sides. The first effect evaluated on the membrane distillation process was the feed temperature, and I observed that when the temperature was increased, the permeate flux increased. But if I want to increase the temperature, more energy will be required, so it can increase the process costs. The feed temperature is considered the most important process parameter due to its direct relation with the vapor pressure, which is the driving force of the process. Regarding the effect of feed concentration, it was observed that when the concentration is increased, the permeate flux decreased. It happened due to the increase of salt molar fraction and the decrease of water activity. Although the permeate flux decreases, this decrease is not too much significant for the process. Once that I increased twice the feed concentration, and the decrease of permeate flux was lower than 36%. So another thing noted along of the membrane distillation process is related to the membrane constant, or another name, membrane permeance. This permeance never change if I use different concentrations. It's a very, very important along process. If you compare with the other process as reverse osmosis, the permeance of membrane, reverse osmosis membrane change if you change the concentration of membrane. Here, this permeance never change. So another thing that we noted, if you work with room temperature or lower temperature, the increase of permeate flux is not too much significant. The permeate flux increased only 7%. So it's not have a lot of wins if you use the low temperature or room temperature on the coolant side. Regarding the feed flow rate, the response of process, this parameter not have significance for the membrane distillation process. Seawater was used on the membrane distillation evaluation, and we note that the seawater had the same behavior of the NaCl solution of 7 grams per liter in all the parameters evaluation, but the global salt rejection of the seawater was lower than the NaCl solution. In other words, I had a global salt rejection on the solutions, 99.9%, while the seawater rejection, I had 98.5%. It happened because was observed presence of the volatile components on seawater, as ammonia and carbonator. So it's directly related to the decrease of the water quality permeate. So I've made this experiment with long-term operation using the whole seawater, and I've noted that to increase the operation time, you have the decrease of permeate flux and the decrease of the salt rejection. The decrease of permeate flux have two explanations. One, because first you are in concentrate salt in the feed solution once you remove the water of your process. And second, you can have the fouling and the scale problems in membrane surface. It can be explained, can explain why the salt rejection increase along of the time. So the conclusions of this work was air gap membrane distillation showed effectivity in desalination and its potential to be used in treatment of low quality water. The feed temperature is the most relevant operational process parameter. It's determined the vapor pressure. The feed solution concentration was considered a relevant operational parameter. Also, it was proved that feed concentration does not influence the project performance. The temperature of cooling solution and the feed water flow rate has a little effect on the membrane distillation process. And volatility components present in low quality water can be permanent membrane pores, especially in the early stage of the water desalination, require old stage of purification. So the future works will be to analyze the effect of feed concentration. Will be investigating with the application of produced water in Oklahoma. Membrane characteristics will be altered to make the membrane more selective, exploring the also waste energy source for membrane distillation. So thank you for your attention.